Well students, now let us take the next theorem, that is parallel axis theorem. How exactly this is to be used? See, suppose that we are having some body like this. This is our central axis. Let us say we call it as central axis. Now we are asked to find moment of inertia about an axis which is like this. About this axis we have to find such that this distance is d. This is what exactly we are given with. So what we will do now is, let us take one particle as we considered P, mass is m, and this is y and this is x. Let us say this is O, A, B. Now our aim is to find moment of inertia. Now what we do? Consider an point. Consider an particle P. What we have? Mass is m. Mass of the particle is m. Now moment of inertia of the particle about O, about the axis passing through O. What will be that? Or if you say, if I want about B, I, we will call as mass of the particle times square of the distance, so it is PB square. Because we are asked to find moment of inertia about an axis passing through B, that is what is required. So mass of the particle into square of the distance of the particle from the axis of rotation. This is, we know from the basic definition of moment of inertia. So we have this. Now substitute the values. So this is m. How much is PB? I can write it as y square plus x plus d whole square. Na? Please, we can write like this. Now simplify this. This is m y square plus x square plus d square plus 2xd. Let us open up the bracket. So this we get as m times x square plus y square plus m times d square plus m times 2xd. This is what we get as I. Now the most important. Moment of inertia of the entire body. What will be that? Sigma of I. So I is sigma of I. Let us apply sigma to each term. So that is sigma of m times x square plus y square plus sigma of m times d square plus sigma of m times 2xd. This is what we have. Now let us see what the sigma will give us. So therefore we can say I is equal to sigma of m. Please concentrate here. X square plus y square is nothing but OP square. It is same as OP square plus d square. D is a constant, so there is no question of applying any sigma to it. So this will come outside the sigma, sigma of m plus, please concentrate, d is constant, 2 is constant. So I will take 2d outside the sigma and I will write mx. Now this term is what? Sigma of m, mass times square of the distance from the central axis. So this is nothing but moment of inertia about the central axis plus what will be this total mass. This is nothing but the total mass of the body. So it is m times, we can say, d square. And this term sigma mx, if a particle is present here, it is exactly on the other side of origin. If here it is mx, here it will become what? Minus mx. So sigma of those two particles will be 0. That is why we can say this term reduces to 0. So our moment of inertia is moment of inertia about the central axis plus mass times square of the distance between the two axes. This is parallel axis theorem. So parallel axis theorem will give you I is equal to moment of inertia about the central axis plus mass times square of the distance between the two axes. D is what? D is the distance between the two axes. So students, these are the two theorems that you will be extensively using in the rotational motion to find moment of inertia about the axes which are given to you. So I is equal to IC. Remember, IC is the central axis. That is what we represent, central axis, plus total mass of the body times square of the distance. D is the distance between them. Now let us see how to use this in different situations. Well students, here I have listed moment of inertia of some of the standard figures. These are the figures which will be normally used in framing the questions from rotational motion in entrance exam as well as in your board exam. So see, moment of inertia of a rod is ml square by 12. Now you will say these are about which axis. So for that I will tell you this is all about central axis. Moment of inertia of the rod about central axis. Moment of inertia of a ring about central axis is mr square. Disc mr square by 2. Solid sphere 2 by 5 mr square. And hollow sphere 2 by 3 mr square. If you remember this, then by using these two theorems we can find for any axis. Any axis. And majority of the questions are based on this. They are about the central axis, remember. Now, suppose that the question is what will be the moment of inertia of a ring about a diameter. About a diameter. Now if you see what is the figure, it is like this. This is a ring. This is the central axis and you are asked about a diameter like this. This is a diameter. Now observe, now I can do this way, this two diameters, see. So we have the diameters, let us say this is x and this is y. Now what we find, x, y, z mutually perpendicular to each other, first thing. Second, they pass through the same point. Therefore, perfect situation for the application of moment of inertia theorem. Which one? Perpendicular axis theorem. So what we will write? Moment of inertia about a diameter we need. This is what is asked. Here, I about the center is equal to, we can say, Ix plus Iy. Because central is the z-axis, perpendicular. But, very important, but Ix is equal to Iy is equal to I diameter. X-axis here, see, it is a diameter and y is also a diameter. So therefore, I about the center is same as 2 times Ix, right? Or I can say is 2 times I diameter. So So therefore I diameter will be IC by 2. Now how much is the moment of inertia about the central axis of the ring? It is mr square. So what we get from this? So what we can say, this means I about a diameter is mr square by 2. See how we can find out. This is exactly how we can find out moment of inertia about a diameter. Don't think that it is having the same expression as the disk. It is possible. That doesn't mean if you measure moment of inertia about a diameter, ring will get converted to disk. No, not like that. Numerically it is coming same. Numerically it is coming same. That is the only relevant statement for the present situation. Well students, now let us understand how to use this theorem for finding moment of inertia of a ring about a tangent. How the tangent is in the plane perpendicular to the ring. How is it? Please try to understand this. This is a ring. The tangent is this way. This is the plane of the ring. So it is perpendicular this way. Central axis is this way and the tangent is also this way. So what is the orientation of the two axes? Parallel to each other. So which theorem will we use? We will be using parallel axis theorem. So I about the given axis is said to be I about the center plus mass times square of the distance between the two axes. This is what is given as in the parallel axis theorem. So what is about central axis? Mr square plus mass time. What is that? Distance r. So what we get? See how we can find out? This is exactly how, students, you are supposed to find. Now suppose that the tangent is not perpendicular but parallel. Then how to find? Now if it is now students, the next one is moment of inertia of a ring about a tangent in the plane of the ring. How it is? This is a ring. Let us visualize this ring. Tangent is this way. See, this is the tangent. This axis is perpendicular to the plane, this tangent. Now this is not perpendicular axis theorem. Please remember, this is not perpendicular axis theorem. First we have to find about a diameter. That diameter is parallel to the tangent, not directly the central axis. So first we have to find moment of inertia about the diameter. So first we have to find about the diameter. This is a diameter, na? Then we will apply parallel axis theorem. So moment of inertia about the diameter, this we know, is equal to, we saw mr square by 2. This we have found out. Just few minutes back only we have found out, and we were arguing ring is having the same moment of inertia as the disk there. So moment of inertia of the diameter. Now apply parallel axis theorem. Now I will be, we have IC plus mass times d square. Your IC is this. So what we get now? This is mr square by 2 plus mr square. So half plus 1 we get 3 by 2. So 3 by 2 mr square. This is the moment of inertia about the tangent which is in the plane of the disk. So students, this is exactly how we are trying to find moment of inertia about different axes. So this is what the practice. Now you can practice for disk, for a sphere, solid or hollow. We can find out for different cases. Method is not going to change. What will change is the moment of inertia about the central axis will change, but the theorems are going to remain the same. We can use this thing only or for changing the axis moment of inertia. We can use this axis, the different axis theorems. Well students, now let us see how to find moment of inertia of a disk about a diameter. So about a diameter, xx is one diameter, yy is one diameter. What we observe is xx axis, yy axis and the central axis, all the three are mutually perpendicular to each other. Second thing, they are passing through the same point. So this is the perfect situation for the application of perpendicular axis theorem. So what we can say, we know IC will be equal to IX plus IY because they are mutually perpendicular. So I am using the perpendicular axis theorem. But Ix is equal to Iy is equal to I diameter. See, remember what we did in the ring? The same thing we are doing. So therefore we can say IC is 2 times I diameter. So I diameter is by 2. Now what is moment of inertia of a disk about the central axis? mr square by 2. So what we get from this, we can say I about a diameter will be mr square by 4. See, this is exactly how we can find moment of inertia of a disk about a diameter. Well students, now the other situation, moment of inertia of a disk about a tangent perpendicular to the plane of the disk. If it is perpendicular to the plane of the disk, it will be how? A disk is there, perpendicular to the plane like this, means it is parallel to the central axis. Therefore we will use parallel axis theorem. So what we can say now? We know I is equal to IC plus mass times square of the distance. Now what is moment of inertia about the central axis for a disk? It is mr square by 2 plus mr square. So finally what we get? From this we can say I is equal to 3 by 2 mr square. See how easily we can find out if we know the orientation of the axis about which we are asked to find moment of inertia with respect to the central axis. This is where you have to work little hard to understand this small concept. The moment you are able to make out what is the orientation, there is nothing difficult left after it. Times square of the distance between them. Now central axis here, central axis will be moment diameter plus mass times square of the distance between them. So what we get, diameter is mr square by 4, this we have derived, plus mr square. So what we get? So the moment of inertia will come out finally, I is equal to 5 by 4 mr square. That is exactly what we can say for the disk about tangent which is in the plane of the disk. That is exactly how we can work out moment of inertia. Well students, till now we have seen how to use the two theorems of moment of inertia. Now let us apply the same on a rod. So we are finding moment of inertia of a rod about one end. Means it will be something like this. If you see it as a diagram, then this is a rod and about one end, this is the axis. Now what we know moment of inertia about this axis. This is central axis and here this distance is L by 2. So we need to find moment of inertia about the given axis. So what we observe, the two axes are parallel to each other. So we will use parallel axis theorem. From parallel axis theorem, what we can write, moment of inertia I is equal to IC plus mass times square of the distance from the axis of rotation. So here I will be IC, moment of inertia about the central axis is ml square by 12 plus m, and what is the distance between them? L by 2 square. So what we get this as m L square by 12 plus m L square by 4. Please simplify this. So what you will get? 3 by 12, 4 by 12, ml square by 3. So what we get is I is equal to ml square by 3. Now students, this is exactly what we have done in the derivation also. Moment of inertia of a rod about one end, we have seen it is ml square by 3. Using parallel axis theorem also we can justify it. That is exactly how we can use parallel axis theorem to find moment of inertia about any axis. Here I have taken one end. Now suppose that the question is find the moment of inertia about some axis. They will give you distance as something L by 4. No issues. Write D as L by 4. Whatever is the distance between the two axes, and you can find the moment of inertia about that axis as well. Now students, let us take one question to highlight what we have learnt till now about moment of inertia. The question is like this: diameter of each spherical shell is r. This means this is r by 2. This is r by 2. And mass m. So mass is m. They are joined by a light massless rod. Calculate the moment of inertia of the system about x dash. It is passing through the center of this spherical shell. It's a spherical shell. Spherical shell is a hollow sphere. So now moment of inertia about x dash, what we will write? This is, first of all, moment of inertia of the first disk. It is containing the axis, so it is 2 by 3 m and r by 2 square, 2 by 3 mr square. And what is the radius of that sphere? This, plus moment of inertia of the first disk for the first sphere, plus moment of inertia of the second sphere. So moment of inertia of second sphere will be what? It will be 2 by 3 m into r by 2 square plus mass times, what is the distance? This is r by 2, this is r by 2. R by 2 plus r by 2 is r, plus between them is 2r. So 2r square. This is what we get. Students, understand this. This is moment of inertia of the first disk. Because the axis is passing through it, directly we will use the formula 2 by 3 mr square. Here the radius is r by 2. Now moment of inertia of the other disk, because we know moment of inertia is what? Sigma of mr square. This is what is I. So this gives us what? I1 plus I2 for the two disk. That is what we are having. Simplify it. So 2 by 3 m and here r square by 4 plus 2 by 3 m and here we have r square by 4 plus m 4r square. So if we simplify this, we can take mr square common, and what we have, this is 1 by 2 6, this is again 1 by 6, and this is 4. So this is 1 by 3. So we get this as mr square is common, and this is 1 by 3 plus 4. That is exactly how we can find the moment of inertia about the axis xx dash, which comes out as 13 by 3 mr square. See, we are using the concept sigma mr square. Please understand this, sigma mr square, I1 plus I2. I1 plus I2. So this is your I1 and this entire thing is your I2. That is exactly how we can solve questions from moment of inertia.